Yo, Elliott!
What's up, guys? Today's question comes from Strength Camp Online member David Evan Flores. He goes on to ask, how do I go from being a gymnast? So essentially he says that he's a 5'6", 125-pound former gymnast who wants to develop his ability to do the iron cross. And those of you who know anything about gymnastics, the iron cross is where they take the two rings, they grab them, and they can hold their bodies out like this, right? So imagine how difficult that must be to hold your entire body weight out with your arms extended this way with the rings. Quite an athletic feat. He wants to be able to either maintain or attain the ability to do this. But at the same time, he also plays basketball and he wants to be able to dunk a basketball. So he's asking, can I have contradictory goals? If I want to be able to maintain or develop my iron cross, I really can't have big, heavy, bulky legs that would be associated with somebody that can jump and dunk a basketball. And again, those of you, if you've ever watched gymnastics, these guys, they got huge upper bodies, and then it just looks like this. They just come down to a pin, right? They look like a triangle. And it's partly because you don't want to have big legs when you're on that iron horse and you're whipping your legs around and when you're trying to do iron crosses and whatnot. So it's really not sport specific. It's not advantageous to the sport to have quads and glutes and big giant hamstrings and calves, right? So our buddy wants to know, how can I go about developing my jumping skills and maintaining my gymnastic prowess? Well, it reminds me of a seminar I once went to, or I watched it on VHS. It was a while back, early in my career, that was presented by Coach Kim Goss, right? And he tells this story about how he was training an ice skater, a figure skater, right? And you can imagine it was a woman. They're long, slender, but they're powerful, right? I mean, these chicks, they got nice lean legs, nice slim bodies, and then they jump up in the air and do this. Boom, and then keep going, right? Just imagine. So you've got to have some pretty powerful freaking legs to be able to jump up in the air, come down, and do all the plies or whatever the hell they do, all that crazy stuff. I don't know if they actually jump up in the air and do that, right? I think they just spin. But either way, they need really incredibly powerful legs. So he takes her into the strength and conditioning room. I guess this was at a university. He takes her into the strength and conditioning room amongst the football players. And you can imagine, of course, football players are huge. They're jacked. They're squatting. They're deadlifting. They're massive. They're beasts. And here comes this petite little chick who plays on ice, and he loads up the barbell in the rack. One plate, two plates. When I say two plates, I mean 225. Three plates, 315. Four plates. By the time he gets to the fourth plate, all the football players are like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And here's this pretty girl that he's supposedly gonna coach. And she gets underneath the bar, right? And then he sets up a box in front of her, and she proceeds to do a step up. She does a single leg step up with like 405 in the bar. Now, she doesn't do it for reps, she does singles. And the point that he was trying to make in this seminar was that it doesn't require a lot of muscular bulk in order to grow strength and power in the legs. This thin young lady who is performing a sport that requires a tremendous amount of power wasn't getting any bulkier, and she wasn't getting bulky like the football players because he was simply training the nervous system to respond in such a way that it could overcome the resistance of the weight. When you jump, it's kind of the same thing. You know, jumping is overcoming the resistance of your body weight against the floor in a very powerful or time-intensive way. So the difference between like strength and power is that time is one of the parameters within the equation. It has to be done quickly, right? But you need to be really strong in order to perform the movement quickly. So anyway, my point here is, my friend, there is no need to gain massive amounts of bulk in your legs in order to jump really high. In fact, you can get really, really strong using low repetitions with high weights followed by jumping. I mean, that's, you get better at jumping by jumping, right? So there you have it, man. So there it is. You can gain both things. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can be an iron crosser and a dunker. Done. Elliott said, what?